Hello and welcome to Lovely English Stories. Thank you for stopping by. This story is written for upper intermediate to advanced English learners. Ready? Let's get started. B2 C1 English Story. A very British village. As the seasons change, so does the village. The beautiful blossom trees' leaves turn a rich red before becoming bald, their branches swaying in the wind. The sights and smells of the village morph as the leaves begin to say goodbye in time for autumn and winter. The smell of them wafts through the narrow streets. The village is close to the coast, but far enough away to think you're in the middle of the countryside. It's quaint and quiet. You don't really go to the village unless you live there. You pass through the village. It's somewhere that you admire from afar but never visit. It's a shame, because the village has a lot to offer. Its residents are constantly thinking of new ways to attract visitors to its shops. The village is home to 2,000 people of all ages, the youngest a newborn called Charlie, and the eldest being 102-year-old Ethel. Ethel has lived in the village since she was 23. She moved from a larger town to be with her husband, who was the village vicar. He worked for many years at the large, stunning church before passing away at the age of 82. Ethel has always been involved in village life. She worked at the local nursery, held cooking classes, learnt about the history of the area, and protested to stop their little country lane from being turned into a main road, which would have attracted lots of pollution to the area. The residents of the village are very protective of the wildlife. They take excellent care of their woodland, the park, and the streets. They have monthly rubbish collections where people, young and old, walk the streets litter picking and making things look clean and tidy again. Most people in the UK cannot stand fly tippers. Unfortunately, the surrounding areas of the village get a lot of fly tipping. People simply pull into the fields and throw all their unwanted things into them before driving off. This is an offence, but people still do it, partly because they are selfish, and partly because the waste disposal services of the local council are not particularly good. The good thing about the litter picking days is that it brings the community together. The village hall, aside from the local pub, is the hub of the village and hosts a plethora of activities, from Girl Guides and Cub Scouts to line dancing, yoga, aerobics, history groups, weight loss groups, and painting classes. One of the most popular nights is the monthly Pie and Peas night. Residents come together to eat, you guessed it, homemade pie and peas, and enjoy drinks from the local brewery. Some of the residents bring their musical instruments along and sing and dance together after they've had one too many drinks. It's the source of much fun and gossip. Houses don't come up for sale very often in the village, but when they do, there's normally a bidding war. Half of the village consists of private housing and the other half is owned by an estate, and the properties there are rented. The rented properties all have the same colour doors and windows. They're very quaint and cute. The people who own the private houses try to keep theirs in the same style, so it looks aesthetically pleasing. The village has won Best Village in the county for 10 years on the trot. It's won the award because the streets are clean, there are beautiful flower displays everywhere, and there are great amenities. As I mentioned, there's the village hall and the pub. There's also a newsagent, cafe, takeaway, butchers, bakery, fishmongers, fruit and veg shop, and a deli. There's also a small doctor's surgery and a dentist. To say the village is so small, it's serviced very well. Surrounding the village you'll find woodland, farmers' fields and various sports grounds. There's a rugby pitch, football pitch and horse stables, all within a half-a-mile radius. If the villagers want a bit more excitement, then they are only a 10-minute drive from the nearest big town, which is home to over 100,000 people. I can't imagine ever wanting to live anywhere else. Now let's go through some vocabulary from the story. On the trot. On the trot. On the trot is an idiom, and it means that if you do things on the trot, you do them directly after each other without pausing. Quaint. Quaint. If something is quaint, it is attractive because it is unusual and especially old-fashioned. Villager. Villager. A villager is a person who lives in a village. Woodland. Woodland. Woodland is land on which many trees grow. Stable. Stable. A stable is a building in which horses and other animals are kept. Unwanted. Unwanted. If something is unwanted, then it is not wanted. Aside. Aside. Aside means except for. Council. Council. A council is a group of people elected to govern a particular area, town or city and organise services for it. Disposal. Disposal. Disposal is the act of getting rid of something, especially by throwing it away. Estate. Estate. An estate is a large area of land in the country that is owned by a family or an organisation. Litter. Litter. Now, litter is small pieces of rubbish that have been left lying around on the floor in public places. Offence. Offence. An offence is an illegal act. It is a crime. Pitch or sports pitch. A pitch is an area painted with lines for playing particular sports, such as football or rugby. Protective. Protective. If someone or something is protective, then they are giving protection. Protest or protest. To protest or to protest is to say something forcefully or to complain about something. Resident. Resident. A person who is a resident lives or has their home in a particular place. Tell us about your favourite village in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this lovely English story and the vocabulary explanations. Thank you for stopping by, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Get productive and check out our language learning productivity packs and stories on Etsy. Use code YouTube10 for 10% off. You can find the link in the description box below. See you soon!